The walled garden was formed in the southwest corner of the small park in the mid to late 1700s. Brick was usually an indicator of where walled fruit was intended within the garden. This is because stone is slow to heat in the sun, while bricks heat in just a few hours, maintaining the heat for longer to provide warmer conditions for fruit to ripen. Because of these conditions, it seems likely that there was a slip garden on the outside of the east wall devoted entirely to wall fruit. However, it seems to have been abandoned in the 19th century. Apart from wall fruit, no other trees within the walled gardens would have been expected. Yet in the southeast quarter, close to the pool, there is a grove of trees that aerial photography from 1951 suggests that this may have been a phase of ornamental gardening. The history of glass at Hillsborough probably started at the same time as the north and east walls were erected. Glass houses in the modern sense were not widely known then, but small, artificially heated hothouses were used for keeping tropical plants and growing subtropical ones. The technology for artificial heating was based around the hot air from fires, which would be circulated through heating ducts in a rising serpentine pattern, eventually exiting via a chimney. In the early 19th century, heating by circulating hot water replaced that technology. This required a boiler heated by coal and distribution via cast iron pipes that radiated and diffused heat within the glasshouse. The precariously surviving hothouse on the east side of the walled garden illustrates this. Meanwhile, glasshouses relying purely on solar heat were becoming more and more popular for growing so that the owner could put strawberries, peaches, and other treats on his table earlier than any of his neighbours. In 1788, the glasshouse area contained 3 hothouses, probably the earliest glass at Hillsborough. In the late 19th century, the yard glasshouses were converted to hot water heating, with the cast iron pipework still in place to this day. In the 1788 maps, the main garden is shown to be divided into 16 subdivisions arranged around a central pool which was lozenge-shaped at the time. The divisions contained vegetable and soft fruit patches. Later maps make it clear that the paths between the subdivisions were flanked by fruit trees. In time, the number of subdivisions was reduced, eventually ending in the 4 divisions that remain today. The central pool also lost its lozenge shape and morphed to become rounded. Cultivation of the gardens continued in some form until 1972, when the castle's occupant changed from the governor to the Secretary of State. The walled garden at Hillsborough did not survive the late 20th century intact. It lost many glasshouses, many gateways and doorways were damaged, and cultivation ceased after 1972. On the other hand, the basic structure of the walls are intact, which is now rare for walled gardens from this era. Enough glass also remains to show off a hothouse and 2 heated glasshouses, which illustrates the walled garden's complex history.